How's that? So, it was October 1993, and I was taking a shower because I was on my way to meet some friends on campus at Georgetown University. My roommate, Tristane, was in France visiting her boyfriend, so I was alone in our kind of hip, classy apartment up on W Street there. Had great kind of skylight and hardwood floors. Very classy. So I wear contacts, and when I'm in the shower, my eyes are tightly closed as I reached up to the shower caddy to get my shampoo. And that's when I felt it. My shampoo bottle was upside down, balanced on the little cap. Confused, I moved my hand to the next bottle, which was also upside down. Time slowed to a trickle, and in that moment, that sliver of a moment before my eyelids could fly open, I achieved total awareness. And I knew that there was an axe murderer standing outside my shower curtain who had turned the shampoo bottles over to torment me and was now watching my horrified discovery for the few seconds that remained of my tragic life. My eyes snapped open, and there was no one there. But vision confirmed what my fingers had felt: upside down shampoo bottle, upside down conditioner. Tristane's Aveda products, also upside down, both of them. And she had been in France for a week. I was still in that sharpened state of mental awareness, and now I knew that the axe murderer was just outside the bathroom door. Like he didn't know I was onto him. So I left the shower running to not give myself away, and I stepped out of the tub and I pulled my robe around myself. And the door to that bathroom was just across from the exterior door to the apartment, and both doors opened out. So I took a deep breath, and I flung the door open, hoping I would stun the guy just at least for a second, and I threw my body out the front door and down the steps into W Street, knowing there is a maniac hot on my heels, and silence. I'm in W Street, barefoot, sopping wet, in a bathrobe, alone. So now what? It's 1993. There are no cell phones, right? I'm an undergrad in the city. I don't know my neighbors. I don't know anybody. There's not a corner store or kindly beat cop patrolling the neighborhood. DC is actually not a terrific place to walk in the streets without mace, which I didn't have. Never mind a wallet or my car keys, or any clothing. So I did what I had to do, what any of you would have done. I went back in. Front door swinging open, shower still running, picked up my mace off the key hook by the door, ready for a fight, and I systematically patrolled my apartment. Cleared the kitchen, cleared the living room, spare room in the back, camping gear and formal wear. Checked the door, it was locked firmly to the alley stairs in the back there, then back past the bathroom, shower still running, into that great front bedroom facing W Street, empty. Bedroom had a really terrific loft, though, with the suspended wooden stairs that creaked when you climbed them, and as I climbed them, I was fully aware of the fact that the maniac, who was definitely up there, was going to be able to reach me before I could see him, so I kind of climbed with my head way back and my mace ready, and it was empty. I was alone. So that was the beginning of a series of events that became our routine. When she got back from France 3 days later, Tristane accepted my story with her typical well-adjusted grace. She was completely comfortable with the notion of this benevolent ghost who manipulated objects but basically left the place securely locked. There was often subtle disarray. We would come home, the TV would be on. Clean cups that we had put away would be set out on the kitchen counter. Unexpected lights would be lit. Once the couch in the living room was kind of shoved up against the sidewall. And then there was the paranoia, right? Like, did I leave that shirt right there? Did you put the phone on top of the fish tank? Did you do that? I am really sure that this book was on that bookshelf this morning. I know that it was. But nothing was ever missing, and the doors were always locked, front and back. We never called the police. I had an uneasy relationship with authority in those days. And honestly, I didn't actually know if they would be on my side. But more importantly than that, I believed in their mission. And I didn't necessarily think that the police should respond to phone calls about unexpected bath product behavior. It seemed childish, really, and selfish to call for help. The part that I hated the most, though, and I never really got used to, were the phone calls. So the front bedroom did face W Street, and at night when we would turn off the light in the front bedroom, the phone would ring. And when you answered it, there was nobody there. Now, this didn't happen every single night, but 3 to 4 nights a week was plenty for me. So we stopped answering the phone. Tristane continued to visit her boyfriend in France from time to time, and it was definitely hardest when I was alone. Because in the part of my mind that believed in wonder and Arthurian legend and the intangible power of the will of the people, I know, there are ghosts. Right? This world, it's filled with things vast, gorgeous, inexplicable things, and we would be arrogant fools to deny their existence because we can't measure them. There is a place to be comfortable, to be peaceful with not knowing. But in that part of my mind that mistrusted authority and societal iniquity and sexism and racism and sometimes all of humanity, I also knew that if there was someone in the world who was crazy enough to break into my house, turn the shampoo bottles upside down, and leave again, locking the door behind him, there was someone in the world who was crazy enough to do anything. And I was afraid of what he would do to us next. So that was how we lived that fall and all through the winter, until it sort of ceased to be a topic of conversation. Which is why I don't really know how or when it stopped. Maybe one day in March, one of us said to the other, we haven't gotten that creepy lights out phone call in a while. In April, someone said, I guess our ghost is gone. I don't really notice stuff being moved around anymore, do you? Which would just about be the end of the story, except for one more thing. I had a formal event to attend in May, and our friend Mike was over in Tristane. They were going to help me pick out something to wear. So I went into that spare room where we stashed the formal wear, and I got a dress, and I had a box of high-heeled shoes that I never wore. They were up on a shelf, and I picked up the box, and it was surprisingly heavy, and I nearly dropped it, and the lid fell off. And inside the box, with my shoes, was a key ring, 60, 70 keys, maybe more. And when I carried those into the living room to show Mike and Tristane, the shock on my face was reflected in theirs. What is this? And why is it in my shoes? But I knew what it had to mean, right? We had never had a ghost. We had had a stalker, plain and simple, right? Mundane, completely horrifying. Some repulsive human being had been doing this to us and had been terrorizing every home represented by a key on that ring, right? But I was now disturbed, yes, but furious, just furious. And I marched to the front door because I'm going to prove my theory. And we're going to call the cops now. We're going to call the cops, and they're going to fingerprint these keys. They're going to, or they're trace them. It's like, it's the property manager, it's the handyman, it's somebody, and somebody is going to be accountable for calling my house all those nights and not speaking. I tried every key in the door. Not a single one of them fit.